Uh-oh. Happy Feet is the king of lightning doing a top 10 for the first time ever? Fuck yeah. That's right. I am taking my pinky toe and I'm testing out the waters of the top 10. Now, this top 10, yes, very subjective, but at the same time, it is also based on a fandom reaction of these moments. And this is going to be the core as to why I have ranked certain things the way they are. This is the top 10 One Piece manga moments in 2015. Number 10, Zoro defeats PICA. This moment, I gotta say, was beastly. And even though I'm a Sanji fanboy and I wear it on my chest proudly, the fact of the matter is that Zoro did deliver upon PICA a fantastic blow. Now, I will say one of the best parts about this moment was the fact that PICA himself was being a pain in the ass for a lot of people, for many One Piece fans. He would not engage in combat with Zoro. He would continuously run away, and it became very frustrating. PICA, who should have been one of the major highlight points of the Dressrosa arc, and to a degree he did rearrange Dressrosa. His powers are pretty beastly. The fact of the matter is that PICA, he played the coward. So PICA wound up becoming a bad part of Dressrosa, but Zoro, he did deliver a fantastic blow, and he did systematically beat PICA after flying through the skies because of Orlumbus. And of course, Zoro, as he's coasting through the clouds, him spouting the usual dialogue, it was pretty beastly and I can't deny it. So that moment, I believe, honestly, deserves a spot on this top 10. Number 9 is going to be the Sabo Flashback, wherein which you see Sabo get saved by Monkey D. Dragon, and we find out something very crucial when it comes to Sabo's character. Sabo had amnesia up until the time of Ace's death. When he saw Ace's photo in the newspaper, that's when he remembered, oh shit, Ace is my brother, and I have another brother named Luffy. So it is very important to understand the context of what happened during that time frame, because a lot of folks wondered, once Sabo came back to the story, a lot of folks wondered, where was Sabo the entire time during Ace's capture and his execution and the whole Marineford War? Well, we finally found out that Sabo, she had amnesia. So in some ways, it could be considered a cop-out on Oda's part, because it is kind of easy. But at the same time, it does give us very important context to what was going on with a major character. Even though he's only been around in Dressrosa in real time, Sabo is still a major character for the overall story of One Piece. Therefore, getting context for Sabo during that point in time, I honestly believe is very, very important. Number 8, Jack the Drought, the first character in the history of One Piece to have a billion berry bounty. And this, of course, was one of the cornerstone reasons why Jack the Drought is massively hyped. The first character. And on top of that, this gives us insight as to what bounty the Yonko would have. Because Jack is one of Kaido's calamities. So we can easily assume that Kaido himself has a bounty that is higher than 1 billion. The same thing probably applies to Big Mom, Blackbeard, and Shanks as well. And we all know that Monkey D. Dragon is the most wanted man in the world, because he's the only guy in the world that is openly opposing the world government system, with an army to boot. Then by clear association, Dragon's bounty is also over 1 billion. So a lot of folks did wonder, would Ichiro Oda actually ever go over the 1 billion mark? And voila, Jack the Drought, first character, 1 billion, epic as all hell. Number 7 is the end of Dressrosa. Finally, the end of Dressrosa. Understand that Dressrosa is the longest arc in One Piece, roughly about 2.5 to 3 years. And unfortunately, Dressrosa had this unending march with a lot of stalls, with a lot of incidences that a lot of folks just really didn't care about. Folks wanted to get to the nitty-gritty, to the meat. And once we did get to that point in time, we'd have even more stalls. There was more unnecessary stuff. Like, for example, Gats speeching, talking, wasting time. There were so many moments that were like this, that were prevalent throughout the arc, that folks really just wanted to see the end of it all. We got that in 2015. Finally, we, the One Piece fans, along with the series, could move on to the next stage of the story. Long overdue, since once again, many people just were taken out of Dressrosa from an investment, from an emotional standpoint, with a lot of stalls. So when the Strat crew finally left, huge relief. Number 6 is the new Straw Hat Bounties. Oh man, big news there. We knew that Dressrosa was gonna lead to some new wanted posters, and lo and behold, when the Sky Demon fell, their bounties rose. From Luffy all the way to Brook. You have Luffy at 500 million, you have ZORO at 320 million, Robin at 130 million, Frankie at 94 million. This right here, one of the biggest shockers, God Usopp, G-O-D, aka G-A-W-D, Gold Usopp at 200 million berries. Hello, Usopp. Somebody, and I have a theory where Usopp is going to get the second highest bounty in the crew overall. But the fact of the matter here is that Usopp, his bounty rose astronomically. Then we have Sanji, only alive, 177 million. Nami at 66 million. Chopper at 100, oh joy. And Soul King Brook at 83 million. Number 5 is going to be Luffy versus Don Flamingo. The fight itself. Now, the fight itself, when you take away all of the stalls, when you take away the speeches and all that fluff, the fight itself is pretty awesome. You have the God Thread. You have the Leo Bazooka. You have the Awakened Devil Fruit powers revealed. And understand, it's not something relatively new, because we do know that the Zoans in Impel Down, they are awakened Zoans. However, to find out that that same awakened concept applies for Paramecia, that is what really broadened the spectrum of Devil Fruit power usage. Then you have other things, like Luffy being able to break out of the strings that not even Diamond Joes could break out of. Also, you have Luffy just speed blitzing Flamingo in every way, shape, and form, but Flamingo continuously coming at him. The man was relentless, and finally it all winds up closing with the God Thread versus the King Kong gun, and the King Kong gun beating the God Thread. Luffy versus Don Flamingo, that fight in of itself definitely deserves a spot on this list. Number 4 is the Straw Hat Armada. The Straw Hat Armada. This is huge, massive to the overall story that is One Piece. We're talking about one word: resources. Luffy gains a huge amount of resources in the form of roughly 5,600 men at his disposal. At his beck and call, he can just summon these guys and they will come to where Luffy is. Now, what we've seen a little bit thus far is Luffy attain territories. However, him and his crew alone cannot watch over these territories. However, when you have 5,600 men at your disposal, you can watch these territories. If you need to engage in combat against another fleet, you call in your own fleet. This raises Luffy's standard as a pirate astronomically. He has resources, he has manpower, and some pretty powerful people to boot. This is going to change the game for Luffy completely as he continues his journey to find the One Piece Wa. Number 3. These are the top 3 moments now. Number 3. Ichiro Oda setting up the confrontation between Blackbeard and Dragon. Oh no. Oh no! Oh baby! This dude, Jesus Burgess, followed Sabo all the way to their base. And this white land of Baltica will soon be covered in red, because not only do you have Dragon summon the commanders of the Revolutionary Army, but Blackbeard himself, along with his men, are going to raid. They are going to raid the area, and they're there to take weapons first and foremost. Where do you stand? Team Blackbeard, all day, every day, 24/7, 365. Team Blackbeard, I'm telling you right now, Team Blackbeard. Number 2, pre and post Gear 4 Luffy. Now, this you would think would correlate with number 5, but it doesn't. I'm talking about the announcement of Gear 4, and then after the announcement, seeing Gear 4 itself. This blew up the fandom, and Oda, this slick bastard, he played it well, because when he announced Gear 4, when Luffy's all stanced up, Gear 4, Oda went on a break. He played his cards well. He let the fandom stew in anticipation, just waiting. Oh my god, Gear 4, Gear 4, Gear 4, Gear 4. It's here, it's real, it exists, it's coming. And understand, ever since Gear 2 and Gear 3, folks have been theorizing for years what Gear 4 would be. And finally, after 2 weeks of anticipation brewing, we see Gear 4, Gear 4, you see the image, the wild look, the armored hockey everywhere, the markings under his eyes. You see the intensity. Based on just the image alone, you knew that Luffy had reached a whole new plateau. Gear 4 for sure belongs on this list in of itself, and it is definitely one of the most monumental moments in the story of One Piece. Finally, the king has arrived at number 1. And number 1, I think it should be obvious at this point in time. I think it should be fairly obvious. Motherfucker fell! Motherfucker fell! Motherfucker fell! 10K and appeared before Kid Apu Hawkins. You know who I'm talking about. Yonko Kaido came out strong side as fuck. Jesus, man. You see the image, you see the intensity. Now you're probably wondering, why am I putting Yonko Kaido over Gear 4 Luffy? Kaido coming in the way he did, that for sure, just like Gear 4, is one of the top moments in the story. However, understand that the Gear 4 hype, the Gear 4 explosion is for a period of time. And for the most part, we are around 3 to 4 months deep in 2016. So the explosion, the hype that was Gear 4 has now died down. Kaido has not died down. He's on the rise. The further and further and further the story continues, the more Kaido's hype escalates. It continues. Kaido is not stopping when it comes to the theories, when it comes to the expectations, when it comes to the explosion. It's there, and it is only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The latest chapters in One Piece only prove this. They only accelerate the expectation, the hype, and the theories that pertain to Kaido. Kaido is a massive tidal wave that at this point in time has no end in sight. So that's it. I am done. This is my top 10. Give me your thoughts on the matter at hand, and I will see you guys and gals later. King of Lightning, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. If you like what you see, let me know in the comment section down below. Peace. Have a nice goddamned day.